Okay, friends, we'll go ahead and start with reciting the Namo Tassa and the three refuges for those who like to join that. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. People, please turn off or become muted. Mute yourselves, please. Welcome, friends, to this Wednesday evening Dhamma discussion and meditation practice. I hope you're all able to, you received the newsletter I sent out on Monday with the attachment to the subject or sutta that we're going to be going over this evening. And you know, the last few weeks we've been discussing suttas and the teachings of the Buddha on how to observe our thoughts and how to overcome distracting thoughts and other useful sort of techniques for you know, dealing with the various types of thoughts and situations that we come up in the daily life. Now, this sutta is you could say a continuation of that, but it's especially about how we, you know, tend to become a little lazy in our practice, or the ways that we can exert our energy, because we all know that right effort is one of the steps of the Noble Eightfold Path, and right effort is talked about quite a bit in so many different suttas, and occurs in many of the different lists that we find in the teachings of the Dhamma. Now, some people don't really care for this sutta because it kind of, you know, it touches some some sensitive areas in their own life, or it kind of you know, talks about things that, you know, happen to them in accordance, you know, with their practice of the Dhamma. But it's very, you know, these things occur to probably everybody at some time or another. So it's called the 8 bases of indolence and the 8 bases of energy. And this sutta is found in the Anguttara Nikaya, the Book of the Eights. Now the Buddha gave this discourse to monks, but it's equally applicable in many of the cases for lay people as well. But sometimes people, they read these sutras where the Buddha is talking about the monks, and you say, "Oh, the Buddha's talking to the monks. Yeah, they should do that." But it's equally applicable in many of the situations to our own practice as lay people. So I'm going to read parts of this, and if you have that attachment open and can read it or printed it out, then you can read along also. So the Buddha is saying there are these 8 bases of indolence or laziness. What are the 8? He says, here, a person, I'm replacing the word person for the word monk that's mentioned in the sutta. But here, a person, they have some work to do. Let's say there's some project that they have to do. And so they think, oh my gosh, there's some work for me to do. But if I do it, it will tire me out physically. So maybe I better lay down and take a nap now instead of meditating. And so they say, well, I'll lie down. And so they lie down and then oversleep the time that they meditated without putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, and to realize the unrealized. So these 3 different categories are interesting. He says to put forth the energy to attain the unattained. That means whatever states of meditation progress that we're still trying to develop, whether it's to attain access concentration, or it's attain momentary concentration, it's to attain the jhanas, or it's to attain entering the stream or the higher realizations. So to attain the unattained, that means making the effort to improve your practice so you get some deeper experiences and deeper insights, and to get more joy out of the meditation practice. And to master the unmastered, that means to we haven't mastered yet the practice of, let's say, mindfulness and concentration, at least until one has reached the stage of a once returner. Probably we haven't mastered it. And to realize the unrealized, to realize especially those 4 stages of enlightenment, entering the stream, once returning, never returning, and especially the full enlightenment. So this is the first basis of indolence. They think that they have some work, and they think, oh, I better lay down and sleep, and not meditate. And then the second base of indolence is that, okay, this person has done the work. And then they think, I have done this work, but now I am tired from that. So I better lay down instead of putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the second basis of indolence. And then he goes on to say the third base of indolence, or a person, they have to make a journey, go visit this person or some other person or some kind of journey. And they think, I'll have to make a journey and that will make me tired physically. Oh, well, I'll lay down and, take a little nap. So they lay down and thinking they're going to get up, maybe to meditate, then they oversleep and oh my gosh, and then they have to rush to, get in their car and go on their journey or to do their journey. And so they lay down without putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. That's the third basis of the indolence. Or they have made the journey and they think, well, I've made this journey and now I'm tired out from all that traveling. So let me lay down and meditate. Maybe they were going to go to a friend's house and they were going to meditate together, but he gets there and said, no, I'm too tired. You meditate, I'll go lay down or something like that. Different excuses that our mind can make up. And so they lay down without putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the fourth basis of the indolence. Or wandering for alms. Now, this is more directed at monks, but you could also, include something else in that. Maybe you're going shopping at the supermarket. Wandering for alms to a village or town and not getting enough good food to eat. They think, I've wandered for alms to the village and town and I've not gotten enough food to eat. My body feels tired and unpliable. So, well, I'll lay down, and he lays down without putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the fifth basis of indolence. Or wandering for alms to the village or town and getting enough coarse food. They think, and had a good meal, they think, oh, I've gotten enough food and eaten enough, but now my body feels heavy and pliable like a load of soaked beans. I really like that little analogy. The body's really heavy after overeating, feeling like a load of soaked beans. So they think, well, I'll lay down. And they lay down without putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, or realize the unrealized. Or there might arise a slight illness in the person. And the person thinks, oh, this slight illness has arisen. That's a good reason to lay down and take a nap. So he lays down without putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. Or that person has recovered from the ailment. And they think, I'm recovered from that ailment. But still, I'm feeling a little weak. So maybe I'll lie down. And so they lie down without putting forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. See if I skip something. Okay, now the sort of the opposites of those, the eight bases for energy. These are the eight bases of energy. So herein, there is some work to be done by the person. And they think, there's some work for me to do. But if I do it, it will not be easy for me to fix my mind on the Buddha's message. Well, I'll provide for that. And And before doing that work, I'll meditate. I'll put forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the first basis of energy. Or the person has done some work and they think, I have done some work. And while working, I couldn't fix my mind on the Buddha's message. So therefore, now I will put forth energy. Even though I might be a little tired from the work, I'll put forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the second basis of energy. Basically, he repeats these different categories. Or they have a journey to make and they think, I have to make a journey and it will not be easy to fix my mind on the Buddhist teaching. Well, I'll provide for that. And now before that journey, I'll put forth energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the third basis of energy. Or he has made the journey and they think, I have made the journey, and while journeying, I was unable to fix my mind on the Buddha's message. So therefore, now, before I do anything else, let me put forth energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the fourth basis of energy. Or wandering through the alms, through the village and towns and not getting enough food to eat. They would think, I wandered for alms through the village and town and have not gotten enough food to eat, but my body is still buoyant and pliable. Never mind. Let me put forth energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the fifth basis of energy. Or wandering for alms to the village or town, and they get enough food to eat, and they got enough to eat. They think, my body is strong and pliable, and I'll put forth the energy to attain, rather than a lot of people, when they eat a lot of food, they think, oh, now I must take a nap. So instead of doing that, even though he got enough food to eat, instead of giving in to the pleasures of the bed after eating a full stomach, even though he might feel like soaked beans, they put forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the sixth base of energy. Or there is some illness in the person and they think there has arisen some slight illness in me. And maybe this illness will get worse. So before it gets worse, oh my gosh, let me put forth the energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the seventh basis of energy. And then that person has recovered from some ailment, recently arisen from being sick, and thinks, I'm recovered from that ailment. But it's possible that that ailment may return to me. So before that would happen, let me provide for that and put forth energy to attain the unattained, to master the unmastered, to realize the unrealized. This is the eighth basis of energy. Because a lot of people, they'll say, oh, they got better, but they're still weak, or they for some reason they'll so I better take it easy, and skip their meditation. So basically, these are the eight bases of indolence and the eight bases of developing energy. And so basically it's being aware of all the little excuses. Our mind is always trying to make excuses why it should delay its practice or put it off, even though they might be very good excuses, but still that's a habit of our mind in doing that. And if you do that too often, then that's how people's practice kind of starts declining. And they, start becoming more unmindful and doing things, that then they have to regret or feel sorry for later. So, that's very important to be aware of the mind when it's coming up with these excuses, and instead exert the opposite. Even though I'm tired, so what? Sit, meditate. Even if you may nod out, at least if you're sitting in a good meditation posture, your muscles will still, be able to retain their conditioning for sitting longer. And this comes to another point that, there's a little saying that, it's easy for us to start habits that are bad for us and difficult to give them up. So it's easy to start bad habits, but difficult to give them up. You ever noticed that? So when you're younger, start smoking cigarettes, starting using bad language, start doing other things, and then, they become a habit and they're difficult to give them up. And on the other side, it's difficult to start doing things that are good for us and easy to give them up. Have you ever noticed that? How many of you maybe thought about practicing yoga or meditation for a long period of time? Oh, yes, I'm going to go to that class. I'm going to go to that retreat. And, I really want to, start doing some yoga or meditation practice. And, it may be a year or 2 years or 3 years before a person actually, starts that. And then when one of these excuses, like a person gets sick, because I've heard these many, many times, and even in my early practice, I had these kind of things come in my mind too. But, they get sick. So maybe they had a sickness for, a few weeks, okay, and they couldn't meditate. I'll, give them that. But then afterwards, they'll, it's kind of, for some reason, they got involved in doing other things, and the practice got neglected. So anyway, these are ways that we can observe, be mindful. Whenever you notice, you're doing some work, going on a journey, having gotten sick, maybe some other categories that you can think of, that you neglected your meditation practice because of that, and so on. So these are very practical things to help us overcome these kind of lazy habits that are so easy to arise, or we get influenced by others, and so on. Thinking that you're going to meditate later or in the next hour, but then there's always some other excuse that comes. The mind is very good at making up these kind of excuses. Okay, so having gone over that sutta, let's see if there's anything in the chat box that came up. See what we can get. Yeah, this sutta sounds like somebody could either can't get that arrow to go up there. The sutta sounds like somebody could either skip meditation or exert even with sickness to do meditation. Yes, that's what it's saying. Is there a middle ground? Everybody wants a middle ground. Of course, we always talk about the middle path. So sure, there's always certain extremes and so on. And so, each person has to determine that. But through your own experience, let's say had you done that initially, said, oh, I'm too sick to meditate. But actually sitting through pain and so on, you can contemplate that sickness, even though you might not, let's say, sit in a straight meditation posture. Even laying down or some other time, you can contemplate, maybe not meditation as you normally do it, like say just trying to, concentrate on one object, but you can reflect on the Dhamma, and reflect on the nature of the body, the nature of death, and so on. So, each person can see that for themselves, whether they can either do it or not do it. This other question, could the Dhutangas be practiced to tone up and integrate these energies? Now, the Dhutangas, for those who may not be familiar with the term, are the what are called the ascetic practices. So these are practices that the Buddha had recommended to certain monks, not all the monks, but to certain monks that wanted to sort of push the envelope a little more. Such as, wearing all their 3 robes when they went on alms rounds, so it would be heavier and they would get more hot and sweaty and be uncomfortable, but yet in order to, just to be stoic and kind of, learn how to endure that kind of discomfort. Or not laying down for a certain period of time, called the sitter's practice. So don't forget that they don't lay down and they lean up against the wall and try to meditate, but and they might go to sleep while leaning up against the wall. So they say, well, at least I didn't lay down. But the purpose of it was to not be too much addicted to sleep and rest. So there's a practice. But the Buddha didn't recommend that for everybody. But for those who want to kind of challenge themselves a little bit, then sometimes they can practice these. Or just eating one meal a day. Instead of eating, even in the monastery, they can eat twice a day, but some monks prefer, no, I'm just going to eat once a day. And so, they just at one time, they sit down and they eat. They're full, and then they don't let temptation, oh, I'm going to have a snack later on, or something else, or saying, oh, I'm too weak in the evening now, I better sleep early. Again, these kind of excuses may come. So, but anyway, those, for people who want to challenge themselves, that's why the Buddha recommended these Dhutangas. I'm not going to go into all of them. You can look it up on the internet. Bhante, any tips for maintaining practice while traveling? Well, what I do, when I go to the airport, a lot of people, they wait till the last minute and then they rushing to get to the airport, and they, have to rush to check in and then, go down to their gate and all that. But I usually give myself a lot of time. And I do a kind of walking meditation, even, going into the airport. Not the real super slow kind of zombie-like walking meditation, but what I call the Vipassana shuffle, kind of just doing a slow, mindful gait. And, and everybody's kind of whizzing by, right? They're this way, and people coming that way. And I'm just, very mindfully, slowly kind of walking, not in a hurry. So, that's the way you can, use that time. Or you're waiting for the line, just standing in the line, right? For the line for the entering the gate. Do standing meditation, for even if it's just a minute here and there, people behind you and back of you, you can just do some deep, slow breathing or send out metta. All these people that are frustrated, maybe the plane's late, you can practice metta. If those kind of situations arise, people are getting angry, or, practice patience. Your flight has been delayed the second or third time. And you use those as a, motivation to practice. Not to sit down on the floor and cross your legs and meditate like that, but even just, as I already mentioned, practice patience, practice metta, compassion, and just being in the present moment, doing a listening meditation, just to see how many sounds are, arising and vanishing through your ears and so on. So there are ways that one can utilize the time in traveling to practice. So these are the ways that I use that time in the practice. Or there might be a chapel in the airport, especially if you have to wait some hours, your flight has been delayed or canceled, and you go in the chapel and do meditation, or even in the waiting room as well. Or carry a Dhamma book with you and read some Dhamma, some suttas, if you have your Kindle with you, or if you have some suttas on your smartphone saved, you can read some suttas while you're waiting, and so on.
Hi, Bhante, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay. This is translated as indolence. Indolence in English generally means some insubordination or disobedience or resisting authority. Can you contrast indolence and laziness? Are they different in Buddhism or the same?
You might be thinking about the word insolent, not indolence. Maybe insolent.
Is indolent the same as sloth?
Well, look it up in a dictionary. That's the best thing.
Okay.
Look it up in a dictionary. So, laziness, I would say, just substitute the word laziness. Basically, it is the lazy, being lazy. Want to just rest and take it easy when you should be, you could be practicing what you feel needs more effort. This comment, maybe those monks that are depicted in the sutta were reflecting hard concerning the Four Noble Truths. Yes, all those, the Four Noble Truths about suffering, the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path. Right effort is, a major part of the Noble Eightfold Path, because without effort, nothing is going to be done. Our habits won't be changed. And it takes a lot of effort in the beginning to surmount or overcome the inertia that generally we have accumulated, because it's easier just to go with the flow and repeat the habit than trying to change. We all know that. And a lot of people don't want to give forth the effort, because in this modern society, everything has gotten easier and easier and easier and easier. We're always wanting more and more. ways of making things easier, quicker, and so on. And that way they have made people, gotten them kind of lazy too. Is doubt one of the causes for the lack of energy? Yes, that's one of the hindrances. The 5 hindrances is doubt. And so if we're like, if you have doubt about yourself, a lot of people have self-doubt about I don't think I'm cut out for this, or maybe they get influenced by others. Meditation, drives you crazy. There's some people that say that, or they have the wrong understanding of it, or just doubting yourself could be a way of not exerting the effort to practice. So yes, there's so many different things that are affected by those. Our desires, aversions, all of them are things that are going to affect our energy levels. Is the unattained, the jhanas, unmastered, the noble truths, unrealized, nibbana? Yeah, you could break it down like that. In fact, that's the way I kind of broke it down when we were going through the sutta. The unattained is simply whatever states you have not reached yet in meditation. If you haven't, weakened the hindrances, you should practice until you weaken the hindrances of doubt, of sloth and torpor, especially. And the restlessness, and so and unattained, yes, to unattained, the jhanas and so on. But unmastered, you could say I would say that is the equivalent of the jhana. That means to very quickly get into a deep state of meditation, to mastering the meditation. You can attain states once in a while, or maybe for 5 minutes you attain some nimitta, or you get some piti in the sukha, that lasts for a little while, but then you may not get it for, days or months again. So you haven't mastered it yet. You attained it once in a while, but you haven't mastered it. So mastering it means being able to get into these states very quickly, after you've sat down, or after you've paused, to get them quite quickly. And then the unrealized, the realizations are basically those 4 stages of sotapanna: once returning, never returning, and the arhat. That's usually what we call realizations. Yeah, that's the way that you can define those. Okay. So why don't we then take a few minutes break, and then come back and see if we can attain the unattained, at least that much, right? Or maybe master the unmastered, attain the unattained. Okay, so we'll come back in a few minutes to do some yoga first, and then sit down. friends. So relax your shoulders and arms at the sides. Gently close your eyes. Just feel your feet pressing the floor. Feel the weight of the body pressing the floor. Let the awareness kind of move up to feel your hands and fingers. Feel the subtle tingling sensations, pulsation, your hands or fingers. Feel the clothing touching the skin of your stomach, chest, or arm. Then rest your attention on your eyes. That point on the eyes, try to feel the outline of the body, the head on top, the arms at the sides, clothing touching the skin, feet pressing the floor. Attain the unattained outline of the body. And then begin some deep, slow breathing. Try to take 3 or 4 seconds to expand your abdomen, rib cage, and upper chest. Hold the air in the lungs for 2 or 3 seconds. And try to feel the last bit of air go out of the lungs on the out breath. Take a few more deep breaths like that, developing this mindfulness. So breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, standing here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we'll combine this breathing with these movements. Do the movement while breathing in, holding the position for 2 or 3 seconds, returning to the starting point on the out breath. Repeating each exercise 3 times. 4 times, keep letting go of any thoughts coming into the mind. Keep feeling the body. On the next in breath, raise the arms over the head, interlock the fingers, turn the palms up, straighten the arms, stretch your head back, look up at the back of your hands, stretch up. The out breath, turn the palms down, touch the top of the head. And the in breath, palms up, straighten the arms, stretch the head back, bend back a little bit. Feel the arch in the lower spine. Out breath, touch the top of it. On the 3rd time, hold the upward stretch longer. Bend back a little more. Feel the sensation. Release the fingers. The out breath, arms back to the sides. Close the eyes and feel the outline of the body in the mind's eye. Feel the increased sensation, especially in the fingers, touch of clothing against the skin, arms and chest. remember standing, standing, standing. Present moment of the body, letting go of the past and future, worries, ideas, standing, standing. Now the next in breath, lift up on the toes while raising the arms over the head in this way, facing the hands toward each other, stretch up. Out breath, come back down, arms to the side. Feel the sensation. Use the in breath to help lift up the body, blowing up the helium balloon. Body rises up. In. Breath. Close the eyes, feel the outline of the body. Don't give the mind time. Wander to the past, to the future. Body's always right here, just underneath your nose. Breathing body. Cellular vibration and sensations under the skin. But standing, standing, standing. Next, we'll do the side bending using both arms. On the in breath, raise both arms up. Keep your fingers and arms straight, close to your head. On the out breath, bend over the right side as far as you comfortably can. Keeping the hands and arms parallel to each other like railroad track. In breath, lift up. Pause a moment. And the next out breath, the other side. In breath. Again to the right, out breath. Once more to each side. Now, close the eyes. You have a sensation, loading, touching the skin, the increased heartbeat, the aches or pain, itchy sensation. Present moment, body centered awareness. Sounds take your attention, it's just hearing. The sounds come and go in the background. Standing. Next we'll do the knee bending. On an in breath, lift up on the toes, the arms up front for balance. On the out breath, bend the knees, lower down, balancing on the balls of the feet. Take a deep breath, push up. Out breath. The increased heartbeat. Pain. She makes pains popping up here and there in the body. Just pain, stomach pain. Itchy sensation. Prick. You know, spread the legs apart about 3 feet, the wider the better. We'll do the twisting from right to left, holding the arms out to the sides. Breathe in. The out breath, twist to the right. Keep your eyes focused on the hand going back. In breath back front. Let the feet turn with the body. Go to the other side, out breath. Once more to each side. sensations in your shoulders. Other places. Feel the outline of the body, mind's eye, third eye of awareness. Focused awareness, like the lens of a camera. Place the hands together at the chest. Breathe in, hands over the head. The out breath, hands to the chest. Again, bend the knees, lower down. And keep the back upright. Feel the stretch in the knees and hip. The in breath. Come up. Hands over the head. And out breath. Out breath. Feel the whole body. Head on top, arms at the sides. Foot pressing the floor. Slowly touching the body. Should be able to feel that outline of the body. So you're looking at a mirror. Not a visual image, just an outline of sensation. And now bring your legs back together. Your head turning from right to left. On the in breath, turn your head to the right. And look over your right shoulder. Have a stiff neck, just be careful. The out breath, turn the head 180 degrees back to the left. Concentrate on the neck vertebrae. Look over the left shoulder. In breath, back to the right. Up, left. in the right. Oh, yeah. We can stop in the center. In the outline of the body. Standing. One last exercise. Backward and forward bending. Let's be careful doing this back bends. Or bend back too far the first time, especially when lifting up from the back bend. Body could start shaking, feeling of pass out. Turn the palms outward so the edges of your hands kind of touch together. And on an in breath, raise the hands up. And get to about the eye level, begin spreading the arms out to the side as you start bending back. Then let out the breath, bend back further, look up at the ceiling. Breathe in, lift up carefully. On the out breath, lower the arms and hands down towards the floor and keep your legs straight. You can touch the floor, fingers and hands, do the stretch in the legs, as the little bones in the lower spine stretch out. And begin standing up. Turn the palms outward. In breath, raising the arms up and out to the sides. The out breath, bend back. In breath, lift up. Careful. Out breath. Downward stretch. Third time. Breath. Hold the downward stretch longer. At the little bones in the lower spine, where the spine joins the pelvis. And the bones stretch out. The blood coming down to the head. And begin to raise up. The in breath, bring the hands to the chest. Out breath, sides, feel all the sensations. Feel or imagine that activated life force, oxygenated blood, cellular vibrations, natural healing energy. Feel or imagine healing energy is permeating, saturating, suffusing all the cells and tissues of the body, mind, nervous system. Allowing the awareness to rest in the middle, present moment. Feel or imagine that you are standing on a vibrating machine, feeling those vibrations from the feet all the way up to the top of the head. Awareness, express present moment. Without thought. Thoughts arise, like they arise, going over the head like clouds passing by. Feel that vibration, the present moment of awareness. Subtle vibration. Never felt that before, and that's attaining the unattained experience. Now let's come back to our seats, be ready for the sitting awareness. Just get comfortable in the sitting posture. Keep the back straight, the head balanced on top of the spinal cord. Try to keep the chin lifted up level with the floor. Just gently close your eyes. And from that point down the eyes, feel your head and face. Relax your face muscle. And try to feel that outline of the sitting body, the head on top. Hands touching together, where they touch your leg, the buttocks pressing the floor. Feel the feet tucked underneath, where they touch the floor, where they are crossed. Try to hold that outline of the sitting body in the mind's eye. Just remind yourself of sitting, sitting, sitting. And begin some deep, slow breathing again, like we did during the yoga session. Try to take 2 or 3 seconds to expand your abdomen, rib cage, and upper chest, holding the air in the lungs for 2 or 3 seconds to allow all the oxygen to get into the bloodstream, be carried out to all the cells of the body. And feeling the last bit of air go out of the lungs on the out breath. Just take several more breaths like that, cultivating this mindfulness. With breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, letting go of the past and future. Breathing out, sitting here and now. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. Breathing out, feeling the whole body. Now we're going to try counting the breaths from 1 to 10. See if you can follow counting 10 breaths without the mind getting lost in thoughts or going to sleep. I'll do the counting for you. Just try to follow that with your breathing and the counting. So on the next expanding in breath, mentally count to 1. Hold the breath for 1 or 2 seconds. With the contracting out breath, also count to 1. Feeling the last bit of air go out of the lung. The next in breath, 2. out breath 2. In 3. Out 3. In 4. Out 4. In 5. Out 5. In 6. Out 6. In 7. Out 7. In 8. Out 8. In 9. Out 9. In 10. Out 10. Now discontinue the counting so that your breathing return to its uncontrolled, short, irregular rhythm. Continue to feel it. Just keep the awareness focused in the center of the body. Feel the residual expanding and contracting sensation. Just knowing when the breath is coming in and knowing when the breath is going out. And knowing is that alert awareness. Or to feel like being a scientist looking down through a microscope, observing an experiment of breathing. Just tune in to the 4 phases of each breath cycle. the expanding in breath and the brief pause, the contracting out breath and the brief pause. It's important to try to feel those brief pauses between the breaths as they connect the in-breath to the out-breath and the out-breath to the in-breath. During those brief pauses, we feel the outline of the body, feel the vibrations of the sitting body. To help stay focused, you can use these brief reminders of in sitting, out sitting, in sitting, out sitting. It's the ongoing, continuous present moment of this breathing body. Just remember that much. In sitting, out sitting. It's not much to remember. It's called the applied and sustained attention. Breath by breath, moment by moment, letting your thoughts come and go in the back of the mind. Just keeping the sensations of the breathing body in the front of the awareness, like looking in a mirror. In sitting, out sitting. You can try to hold that outline of the breathing body in the mind's eye. Just turn up the power of the mental microscope. Notice more detail, sensation. The breathing process. Try to notice how each breath is different. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's shorter. Sometimes you feel the breath more in the abdomen or stomach area. Sometimes you feel it more in the rib cage or upper chest. It's always changing. in sitting, out, sitting. You catch the mind lost in thoughts, recognize it as lost, or thinking. Gently let go of the thoughts. Take a deep, slow breath. Bring the mind back into the body. Back to in sitting. Out, sitting. Breath by breath. Moment by moment. Especially be aware of at the end of the out breath, feel that brief pause. A little pause might even be for a longer time. You notice the urge to breathe in again. Even while feeling in the breathing, you can also notice other sensations coming and going in the body. Notice the clothing touching the skin in the background. Some prickly sensations, itchy sensations. Maybe some aches or pain. They're all going on in the background through this breathing body. Seeing how quickly the different sensations just come and go, arise and vanish. Keeps the mind alert. If you don't have something to notice, mind gets lost in thoughts or spaces out. And behind the breathing, you might feel the heart beating. subtle pulse of blood in different places. The deepening of awareness. There's still too many thoughts. Let's come back and do some more with a deep, slow breathing to help stay awake in the body. Keep the blood oxygenated. in sitting, out sitting, turning up the power of the mental microscope. Notice more and finer details, sensation in the body-mind process. You know what the 5 aggregates are. How to identify them. This is material vibration. This is feeling. That's perception. This is wanting. Thoughts. This is the ego consciousness. I, me, or mine. Constantly coming and going, changing. In the flow of impermanence. Breathing in, sitting. Breathing out, sitting. So many different sensations come and go. Pleasure or pain come and go. Sounds, perceptions, thoughts come and go. Thoughts of I, me, or mine come and go. These are all just a continuous flow of impermanence and change through this body and mind, this present moment awareness. Even the sense of I, me, or mine is just another bubble of thought arising in awareness. Without clinging or identifying with that, allow it to fade away in the background. Let the awareness expand. Even the feeling of a solid body might fade away or dissolve in that consciousness, awareness. what thoughts arise based on that sound vibration. Sabbe sankhara anicchati yada panyaya pasati atanibindati dukkhe esamango visuddhya. All conditioned things, the five aggregates of this body, mind, and world are impermanent. They arise only to briefly last, then vanish. When one sees this with the eye of wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with suffering. This is the path to purity, to freedom. And thus spoke the Buddha. Now I invite you to join in chanting the word sadhu 3 times slowly. We do that chanting on a long out breath. Feel those vibrations in your body and mind. Take a deep breath. Now mindfully place your hands at the edge of your knees. On the next in-breath, stretch your head back. Look up toward the ceiling. Pull the hands on the knees to arch the spine back. Feel the sensation. And lift the head up on an in-breath. On the out-breath, press the chin to the top of the chest to stretch the neck vertebrae. And lift the chin up level on an in-breath. The out-breath, relax. Put a smile on your face. Okay, friends. This brings our evening Dhamma discussion and meditation to an end. And it's an announcement that next Wednesday, actually in the morning, I'm going to be flying to Ottawa, Canada, and I will be in Canada teaching a 4-day retreat, which will be broadcast over Zoom. I sent the links out to that. It's hosted by the Ottawa Buddhist Association. And I'll be coming back also on the following Thursday. So for 2 weeks, the next 2 Wednesdays, there won't be this Zoom program. But then hopefully the following week, I don't know which day it is, sometime in the, but then we have our retreat starting here. So anyway, we'll have to check the dates. But anyway, the next 2 weeks at least we won't have. But I encourage you to try to, if you have the time, to tune in and participate in some or all of that retreat that I'll be leading in Ottawa. This will be an in-person retreat at a very nice retreat center, about an hour outside of Ottawa. So it's a hybrid retreat, in-person retreat. There'll be about 27 people attending that retreat, and then the people attending on the Zoom. So that the Zoom program will include, I think, guided meditations, maybe some yoga and Dhamma talks. Okay.
Wonderful. Good night. Thank you, Bhante. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
May
Be
the
well, be safe, be mindful, be wise.
Good night. Thank you.
Namo
Good night,
Buddhaya.
Bhante. Namo
Namo
Buddhaya.
Buddhaya.
Good night, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
at least you didn't call them sloths.
Everyone have a good
Buddha called them sloths or anything. Thank you.